There are several common mistakes that people make with regard to premises liability claims, slip and fall claims that people have that we see from time to time as potential clients approach us about representation. Let's run through just a few of those and speaking specifically about premises liability claims, what we often call slip and fall cases. But a number of these common mistakes really could apply to all kinds of personal injury cases or just legal claims in general. So looking through some of the big ones, probably the single biggest mistake that people make with regards to a legal claim is just waiting too long to bring that claim. The law has very strict deadlines for which a person can bring a personal injury claim. In the state of Mississippi, where I live, for instance, the general Statute of Limitations deadline, which is what we call these time limits for bringing a claim, that is 3 years here. Now, there are certain factors or circumstances where that statute of limitations can be significantly shorter than 3 years. For instance, if it involves a public entity like a school, a city or county government, or the state government, or any subdivisions of them, that could be reduced to 1 year in Mississippi. There are also instances, however, where that 3-year period could potentially be expanded, such as when a person is incapacitated, or claims involving minors are a classic example. But there are still, understand, very strict limits on the time period for bringing those claims. And so you cannot play around with the statute of limitations periods. If you wait too long and the statute passes, the claim is barred and you can't re-bring it up. You can't say, I'm sorry. The claim is just forever barred and you will never get compensated. So the biggest threat and mistake that people make is waiting too long. And it's not just waiting too long until that statute passes, but it's also waiting too long to consult an attorney, because if you show up the day before the statute is running, or in some cases even a week or month or two before, there isn't always time for the attorney to do what they need to do, to prepare that claim and really protect your rights. So don't wait. Another big mistake that people make with all sorts of personal injury claims, but it certainly applies to premises liability claims or slip and fall claims as well, is not getting the medical treatment that they need. That they're focused on, getting back to work or taking care of the family or this or that, and they don't put a priority on getting the medical treatment. And part of that is psychological. We all do it. We want to believe we're going to be okay. We don't like admitting that we're injured or needing help, and medical treatment is scary. But if you've been injured, one, just from a health perspective, it is so important to get that injury treated. Do it as soon as you know that you're injured, and follow the doctors and the other medical professionals' advice on continuing treatment. Whether that be physical rehab, whether that be follow-up appointments, listen to them. They're there to help you. Follow their advice. Go to the follow-up appointments. Go to the other appointments that are designed to help you recover. Because one, you'll be healthier as a result of it, But from a legal perspective, which is what we're here to talk about, it also helps with the claim because it's providing documentation. You know, a big part oftentimes of what's involved in proving and supporting a claim and getting maximum value for that claim that you deserve and are entitled to is the documentation. And so it's not just documentation that an injury happened, it's also documentation of the treatment, of the diagnosis, of how that injury is impacting the person over the course of treatment and recovery. And if the person is getting the medical help that they need and the treatment that the medical professionals are recommending, it's not only helping them physically, but it's also providing a detailed record of all the different ways that this is intruding on their life, of all the different ways that it has impacted them physically, mentally, and in terms of daily living. And that information becomes very helpful in terms of pursuing and proving the legal claim. Finally, a big mistake is people trying in the beginning, or sometimes longer than the beginning, to pursue the claim themselves, of trying to deal with the opposite or oppositional insurance company, trying to deal with the adjusters themselves and work through the claim on their own behalf, not reaching out and getting competent legal counsel to help them with that claim, reaching out to legal counsel who doesn't actually have experience working personal injury claims or litigating personal injury claims or dealing with the particular type of claim you have. For instance, we're talking right now about premises liability and personal injury claims. And so the way to avoid that mistake is just early on, when you know there's going to be a claim and that you're injured as a result of someone else's wrongdoing and you're entitled to be compensated for that, get competent legal counsel involved from the beginning. Don't try to do it yourself. Get competent legal counsel involved, and don't just go get your divorce attorney or the attorney that does your land deeds. Reach out to an attorney who actually does personal injury litigation on a regular basis. Ideally, an attorney with a track record of success and experience on premises liability and slip and fall cases. And I assure you the outcome is going to be better, and you will be more aptly represented if you do that. So try to avoid these common mistakes if you have a premises liability or slip and fall case. Really try to avoid these mistakes on any personal injury claim that you have. But I'm Brad Morris. I'm with Brad Morris Law Firm, PLLC, and do know that we are available through our website, through phone. If you have further questions about your premises liability or slip and fall claim, call us. We'll try to answer your questions. We'll do our very best to get you pointed in the right direction and get you the help you need. So thank you for watching.